And yeah, you can start in a comfortable seated position. Just pressing your playlist to play. And today, today we'll do a bit more of arm work, as we haven't done that a lot before. And also we will do a little bit of a workshop on the Chaturanga, which is a very key pose in yoga, but often we just do it and we don't really go through it. So let's just explore that today. And if you have any questions, we're not with that many people, so just ask in the meantime. So yeah, let's just get it started with a short meditation. So again, coming into comfortable seated position, maybe closing the eyes for a moment. And then just starting to breathe, inhaling, bringing the shoulders up, exhaling, bringing them back down. And doing this several times, just breathing in and out deeply. You're really feeling all the fresh air entering your body as you're shifting from a day at work and sitting behind the computer to this moment on your mat. And bringing the shoulders to stillness. As you just bring your attention to the breath. So see if you can find a point in the body where you feel the breath most. And then just focus on that area. So this could be maybe the tip of the nose where you feel the coolness of the air moving into the body. But it could also be at the belly or in the chest or the shoulder blades. Just taking a moment to breathe. Focusing on the area where you feel the breath the most. The breath as such an important life force energy, giving oxygen, making sure we have all of that in our body. And every time you have a thought coming up, just bringing the attention to the breath. And really feeling yourself sitting on the cushion or on the mat, feeling your sit bones and the weight of the sit bones on the mat, feeling the feet, the calves, the thighs. And really seeing if you can sink deeper with your weight into the mat with every exhale. So inhaling this freshness of the air in, and with the exhale sinking deeper into the mat. Releasing everything that you don't need anymore in this moment. See if you can be present with your body in just an hour. And then slowly starting to blink the eyes open as you make some circles with the neck. Just using the breath still, inhaling back, exhaling as you move forward, maybe shifting to the other side. And also observing whatever it is that you feel, and if you feel a piece of tension, maybe just staying there and breathing into the area for a little bit. And then coming into the side stretch, so placing the left hand behind you, right arm up and over the head, right ear, right shoulder. Just a few breaths here. Option to intensify by looking towards the elbow crease. Let's see if you can bring the left shoulder down. And then changing side, right hand behind you, left arm over the head, left ear, left shoulder. And again, and pressing the right shoulder down. And then looking towards the left elbow crease. Breathing here. And then releasing, doing a bit of a warm up for the shoulders and arms that we'll be needing So placing the right arm underneath the left and coming into eagle arms. And on the inhale, start to bring your arms up. So the elbows come up and you feel this kind of tension in the back of the shoulders, opening up there. And maybe you can even move further, bring the head back, arching the spine. And then using the exhale to pull the navel in, rounding and bringing the elbows down. Inhale, again bringing the elbows up, looking up, opening up the chest. And exhale to move down. Do this 2 more times, following your own breath. Let's see what happens when you explore pressing into the hand palms, bringing the elbows up more or less. Exploring your own body. And then releasing to change sides. So bringing the left arm under, the right arm over. Eagle arms other side. So again, starting to bring up the elbows and pressing into the hands as you move them up, arching the spine, maybe looking back. And then slowly bringing everything back in, putting the navel in, dropping the head down. Several more times using your own breath and really exploring your own body, pressing the hands together, bringing open the elbows. And then slowly bringing the arms back in, rounding the spine. As you softly release the arms and remove the cushion to already come to lie down on the back. Starting with a small hamstring warm up. So bringing the right leg up and placing the left leg on the mat, flexing both feet. And then see if you want to bring the hands underneath the calves or maybe underneath the thighs or even the foot. And then pressing the shoulder blades down as you pull the leg in. Staying here for several deep breaths, warming up the hamstring. Really pressing through the heel, engaging the leg. Tucking the chin in slightly so your neck is in line with the mat. Maybe you want to move the toes a little bit, making some circles or flexing and extending the toes. And noticing what these small movements do in your body. And then on the next inhale, coming up. And on the exhale, pulling the leg in slightly closer. Bringing the knee towards the nose or however far you get. Still keeping both feet flexed. And then releasing the right leg back down, changing sides. So bringing the left leg up, flexing both feet. And seeing again if you want to hold by the thigh, the calf, or the foot. And then bringing the shoulder blades down towards the mat. Tucking the chin in slightly, just breathing here. So it's maybe making some circles with the foot, flexing or stretching out. Breathing in and out deeply. Really bringing all your attention to your body in the present moment. And then again, inhaling to come up and exhaling, bringing the knee closer towards the nose. Staying here for several breaths. And then slowly releasing. Now bringing up both knees, hooking your peace fingers, hooking the big toe, and then see if you can sort of try and extend the legs outwards. So you don't need to straighten them fully. Maybe they're just a bit bent, but try and press through the heels and lengthen your arms to the sides. Staying here for several breaths and thinking of pulling the shoulder blades together, tucking in the chin slightly so you're completely flat on the mat. Really warming up these hamstrings and side flexors. And also seeing whatever is your attitude here. Is there like a lot of strictness or tension, or can you just also relax into this pose and release maybe even the eyebrows, the jaws, things that we often tense when we do something intense. And then slowly releasing. Going into our ab sequence from here. So placing the feet flat on the mat and your hands behind the head as we're going to do a crunch up, and we place the hands next to us and then do 2 in and outs and then several Russian twists. So coming back down, doing this 8 times, inhale up, 2 in and outs, and then 4 Russian twists to both sides. Coming back down, coming up, 7 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really crunching into the sides. Coming up, 1, 2, 1, 2, in and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back down. All right, 5 more. In and out, crunching to the sides, really twisting as you go. Coming back down, 4 more. In and out. So really following your own breath and your own pace. 3 more. 2 more. Really crunching and twisting. And then the last one. And coming back down. Now bringing both legs up straight. Going for leg drops with crisscross. So placing the hands next to the side, stretching out the toes, really pressing. Inhale here and exhaling to lower down. Just crisscrossing the legs until you're down, and then bringing them back up for 7 more. Inhaling up and exhaling to lower. Really lowering all the way down, keeping the spine flat on the mat. 5 more. And 4. 3. And 2. Last one. And back up. Going for bicycle crunches, so making sure the knees are above the hips, placing the hands behind the head and crunching and moving the leg down at the same time. Inhaling here, exhaling, right leg down, right elbow, left knee. Inhale up, changing sides. 8 rounds and really making sure that the knees are in a 90-degree angle, really twisting to the side. 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. All right, well done. Rock and rolling on the back until you come kind of up on the back, placing the hands beside you, pulling the navel in. So your lower spine comes on the mat. And then bringing one leg up, other leg straight ahead. 8 rounds for scissor kicks. Inhale here, exhale, change for 7. Really opening up the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the knees into the chest, coming down, just making a few relaxed circles, massaging the lower back. As you rock and roll on the backs, feeling all the little vertebrae, and then crossing the ankles over to come into your tabletop. So starting off with some cat-cow, and then really opening up the abs that we just worked. So on the inhale, bring the sit bones up, opening up the chest. And on the exhale, starting with the sit bones and rounding the spine, pressing into the palm. Inhale, open up, look up, reach up. Exhale, change. Doing this several more rounds, using your own breath. Turning your attention inward. And then coming back to center. So as we're going to do quite a bit of planking and chaturanga, I just want to explain one basic principle, which is how to hold the hands, because it's super important to avoid wrist injuries and also injuries in the hand. So with every position in yoga that we have our hands on the mat, it's always the same. We place the hands on the mat, you spread the fingers wide, index finger pointing towards the front of the mat. Then you start to press through all the fingertips. And if you press through the fingertips, you will notice that the fingertips will become white. And maybe even some part in the middle will come up, and then the knuckles will go down again. So see if you can press through all the fingertips and see what happens. So that's really the sensation that we want to have in order to protect our hands. So if I would come to your room to lift your fingertips, I would not be able to do so. So let's see and investigate why this is so important. So if we now move into a high plank all together, so spreading the fingers wide, the index finger pointing towards the front, and then pressing through all these fingertips. And now we shift to side plank. So shift to the left side, for example, and then just bring your right hand to your heart and look down towards the fingertips. So they're all really pressing firmly into the mat right now. And now release all and bring all the fingertips together so they're not spreading wide anymore. And don't press through the fingertips. So see how much weight is now on your wrists. So again, try and spread them wide, pressing through the fingertips. Feel that. And now release and see all the weight is into the wrist. So now just to really get it, we're doing the same on the other side. So we're moving the feet to the right, looking down towards the right hand, really pressing through all the fingertips. And then notice how your wrist is in this moment. And now releasing all the fingertips and bringing the fingers together, and then feel how much pressure you have on the wrist. All right, placing the hand back down, coming in to seated position. So basically, it's always really the steps to everything you do in a plank position or everything on your hands anywhere to make sure you do it safely. So that said, we're gonna do an arm warm up. So first of all, placing the hands towards you. And then just slowly just rocking back and forth, warming up the wrists, making some circles. Breathing again here. See if you can reconnect to the breath. And then placing them outward to the side, moving from right to left. Slowly warming up the wrists and just taking a moment to breathe. And then coming onto the fists. And then see if you can slowly roll them forward and back. So just a really subtle movement with fists on the floor. And then coming back to center, placing the hands in front of you. Again, the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees hip width apart underneath the hips. And see if you are placing your hands in the right position. So fingers spread wide, index finger pointing towards the front of the mat, pressing through the fingertips. And then we lift up the right leg. Inhaling here, exhaling to shift forward as far as you can, crunching down. Inhale up, exhale to round. Inhale, move the leg back. Exhale forward, inhale up. Exhale to round. 3 more times, following your own breath. Really using the breath for every movement. 2 more. Noticing how the position of your hands is. And then coming back to center, changing sides. So bringing the left leg up, really flexing the hips, pulling the navel in, inhaling here, looking down towards the mat. Exhale to crunch forward. Inhale up. Exhale to round, pulling the navel in. Inhale, leg back. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale to round. 3 more using your own breath. And then coming back to center as you move the hands slightly forward as we're going into a downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under, engaging the core. At first, just lifting off the knees of the mat. Breathing here, paying special attention towards the hands. And then slowly shifting back the sit bones and staying there for several breaths. Inhaling and exhaling, fully pressing through the fingertips still. Not sinking all the way down, we're not sitting, we're really using the quads. And then keeping the belly on the thighs as you try and move the sit bones up. Keeping the knees still bent. Breathing here. And then slowly starting to walk the dog. Maybe lengthening one leg, lengthening the other. Saying yes and no with the head. And then pressing the left foot firmly onto the mat. And then see if you can press with your fingertips yourself closer towards the belly, closer towards the thighs. And if your foot is not really flat on the mat, maybe you can try and move it a bit forward. So see if that helps. It's alright if it keeps it lifted a little bit. And I start to bring up the right leg. So pressing through the fingertips, pressing through the heel of the right leg, and then bringing the right knee to the nose. Extending and lifting through the back foot. And then slowly start to move this right leg underneath and pivot the left foot parallel to the other side, opening up. Coming into foam triangle. Slowly coming back down and bringing the right foot back next to the left, coming into downward facing dog. Ready to change sides. So bringing the right foot down. And then see if you can really press the belly towards the thigh more. Breathing here. Lengthening through the hamstring. And now see if you can pick up the left leg, pressing the heel back. Really using the power in the legs. Releasing the head. Staying here for one more breath. And then slowly bringing the left knee towards the nose. Pressing through all the fingertips, lifting to the toes of the right foot. And then slowly pivoting the right foot to the side of the mat and bring the left foot to the side, opening up. Staying here for 2 breaths. And then coming back down, placing the left foot next to the right. As you look forward and slowly walk to the top of the mat. Placing the feet hip width and just hanging over the knees in ragdoll pose. Coming back to the breath. Maybe even open mouth exhale. Lengthening one leg and the other. So just feel whatever's good for your body here. Play with it. And then start to explore what it needs. Breathing in and out deeply. And then releasing the hands, slowly rolling up into standing. Next inhale, bringing the arms up, reach up. And on the exhale, bringing the hands, pressing them out towards the side. So the heels of the hands are pressing out, spreading the fingers wide. Breathing here. And then see if you can intensify by moving the arms up or down. So seeing whatever is your position, that you really feel this tension in the fingers. And then maybe moving around the wrists. Lowering hands back down. Inhaling, bring the arms up, look up, reach up. Exhaling, folding forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat, straight, flat spine. And on the exhale, stepping back, straight into plank. Staying here. And really seeing again, checking your hands, fingers spread wide, pressing through the fingertips. And now shifting your weight to the left side. And now from here, see if you can bring up your right leg. So maybe you want to place your left hand on the belly to see if your core is engaged, or opening it up to the side, really pressing and pulling yourself up. Making sure you're not pulling. Staying here for 3 more breaths. For 1. For 2. And 3. And now see if you can bring this left leg, this right leg, right to the front of the mat, into your lunge. Really feeling into the hip flexors, opening up the chest. Breathing here. And now start to straighten the front leg. And I think of really pulling back the right hip and bringing forward the left hip. Inhaling to lengthen. And exhaling, maybe bringing the belly closer towards the thighs. Option to walk the hands back. So seeing whatever is good for you. Staying here for 3 deep breaths. For 1. For 2. And 3, slowly walking towards the front. Keeping this front leg straight, or as straight as you can. And then engage the core and see if you can lift up one hand or the other. So see if you can hold your balance and then come to airplane wings. So really squeezing the shoulder blades together, pressing through both feet, engaging the core. Breathing here. Moving down towards the mat and choosing one point for focus. And then slowly releasing the hands, bending the knee as you come back into high plank. And this time we're moving into Chaturanga. So from our high plank, you shift forward as far as you can. And then you bend your elbows, but no further than 90 degrees. So it would look like this. And you really hug the elbows in towards the chest. And then you come back into plank. So really going for this Chaturanga practice, you can also bring down the knees, untap the toes. If that's better, just to practice Chaturanga arms. So if you have your elbows pointing towards the side, hugging them in. So step 1, hug the elbows in. And then shifting forward until you have a 90-degree angle, looking down towards the mat. And then pressing back up into your high plank. So practicing this a few more times. Inhaling here. Exhaling, shifting forward into 90, hugging the elbows in, and then coming back up. Shifting forward into 90, coming back up. However you want to do it, on the knees or with the legs straight. All right, time to go down towards the mat, shifting forward for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing down on the mat. And then placing the arms to the side for shoulder and armpit opener. So looking down towards the mat and just pressing through the fingertips. Breathing here. Really working these arms today. And then softly releasing, placing your hands in front of you for a short swings pose. So the elbows underneath the shoulders and just opening up the chest, breathing here. Just a bit of compression in the lower back. So if it's too painful, just lower down. And then from there again, lowering down, placing the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under as you press yourself up. Now this time, you shift the feet to the right and you really check again, how is my wrist in line with the shoulder, my fingers pressing to the mat, and then you shift to the side and see if you can extend the leg up. Staying here, really pressing through the hands, hiring yourself. Staying here for several deep breaths. For 1, for 2, and 3. And now see if you can slowly bring the left foot forward and step it in between the hands. Maybe you need to shovel your leg forward. That's all good. Staying here for several deep breaths, opening up the chest. Really working the hip flexors, and maybe you can drop the right leg down a little bit to intensify. Breathing here. Really feeling into your body. And then extending the left leg. So again, bringing the left leg back, the right hip forward slightly, squaring up the hips. Inhaling here, and exhaling, maybe you can even go a little bit further down towards the leg, bringing hands behind you. Breathing here. And really making sure you engage the legs. Releasing the head. And then slowly walking forward. And then see if you can engage the core for stability first. As you start to release the hands and bring them back into airplane wings. Breathing here for several deep breaths. 1, for 2, pressing through both legs. And 3, bringing the hands onto the mat, looking forward as you step forward to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhaling, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring the arms up, reach up, lift up. Exhaling into heart center. All right, ready for round 2. Inhaling, bring the arms up, reach up. Exhaling, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And now take again the peace fingers that we took before, and then hooking them underneath the big toes. And you can bend the knees a lot if you need to really keep this belly on the thighs. Inhaling to straighten the spine, and on the exhale, slowly bringing the elbows out, lowering down, and maybe extending the legs just slightly. Just see however far you get, bringing the weight towards the front of the feet. Relaxing the head, and then see if you can really bring the sit bones up. So you bring the weight to the front and you bring the sit bones up. Then pressing the elbows out towards the sides. Breathing here. Two more deep breaths. Last breath. And slowly Releasing one more time, inhaling to lengthen, and on the exhale, stepping again straight into our plank pose. All right, getting ready for the next side. So checking our hands, looking down towards the mat to also really lengthen the spine. And then pivot to the left side. Opening up the arm. And now placing it into the hip. Now see if you can kind of bring up this right leg and see if you can hook the toe exactly like we were just doing. And from here, maybe extending the leg up. Breathing here for 1. You can keep the knee bend also for 2. Pressing with the fingertips into the mat for 3. And then really slowly looking forward towards the mat. And then see if you can, as slow as possible, bend the knee. And then bring this right foot forward towards the top of the mat. Really slow transition, taking the time to really feel into the juices of your body. As you come into your high lunge, and from there again, just breathing here. Well done. Opening up through the chest, sinking this left hip deeper, and then maybe extending the right leg. And then coming into your hamstring stretch again, pressing the right leg back, left hip forward. Breathing here. For 1. For 2. And 3. And now again, engaging the core, looking at a point for balance. And then bringing the hands back. Breathing here for 1 more breath. And so you bend the knee and you shift the weight forward and you imagine yourself already standing up and coming into warrior 3. So see if you can do it in 1 hop or several hops, bringing the weight forward, maybe touching down on the ground for a moment. As you come up into warrior 3, bringing the hands together, squeezing the shoulder blades, pressing the heel back. Staying here for 3 deep breaths, squaring up the hips. For 1. For 2. And 3. Now placing the hands on the mat and stepping your left foot next to the right. Inhaling, halfway lift. And this time on the exhale, placing the hands underneath the foot to come into gorilla pose. So you can bend the knees a lot, bring the belly towards the thighs. And then see if you can almost step the feet onto the wrist. So you could actually now, when moving your toes, give a little massage to the wrists. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. And again, bringing the weight slightly to the front, pressing the sit bones up. Breathing here. For 1. Pressing the sit bones up. For 2. Shifting your weight forward. And 3, letting your head hang loose. And then releasing the hands, inhaling halfway lift, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And on the exhale, stepping back again into your high plank. Going for the other side. So again, checking your hands. Are they in the right position? And shifting to your side plank. And then bringing up your left leg whenever you have the balance. Maybe hooking with your right hand, your left hand, your left foot, and extending the leg, looking down towards the hand for 1, for 2, and 3. And then as slow as possible, really slowly bending this left leg, and then really slowly bring this left foot towards the top of the mat. Softly placing it down And again, just opening up, really enjoying the stretch in the hips. Breathing here. Well done. Second round, almost done. So extending through the left leg, working these hamstrings a little bit more. And then bending over if you like. Just see however much space you have. Pressing through both feet. Engaging the legs. For 1. For 2. And 3 as you look forward. And you keep this leg bent. Straight. And then again, you can first see if you can come to these airplane wings by really taking this focus point. And then already imagine yourself going forward. So bending the leg first. And then maybe you want to put the hands on the mat to really slowly shift into your warrior 3. Engaging the core as you bring the hands into heart center, squaring up the hips. Flexing the back foot. Looking down towards the floor in front of you. Squeezing through the shoulder blades. Staying here for 3 more breaths. For 1. For 2. And 3. And then slowly stepping the right leg next to the left leg. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Really shuttling the head, yes and no. And then inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale as you step back into high plank. As I am just putting something into my hair. Enjoying your plank by yourself. And as we are in our high plank, we move to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, you can see if you bring the elbows down towards the mat. So you place them maybe a bit further, slowly bringing the elbows down. So inhale up, exhale, bring the elbows down, inhale up. So we're working this kind of little outside arm muscle, focusing all the details, because today it's arms. Lowering down, inhale up, lowering down, 5 more. 4, 3, 2. I know this one is really shitty. 1. And now lowering them all the way down, clasping the hands together, and making sure the elbows are shoulder width apart. Inhaling here, and on the exhale, slowly shifting forward, touching the chin towards your hands, and moving back, really pressing yourself back, doing 5 of these kind of, I don't know even what they are. Inhaling here. In yoga, we call them Dolphin Push-Ups. So press yourself back, and exhaling to move forward like you're gonna kiss the mat. Pressing back, 4 more. And 3. 2 more. Pressing back. Last one. And holding here for 1. For 2. Relaxing the head. And 3. Lowering down the knees. Untucking the toes as you come into a short child's pose. Well done. So placing the knees together, bringing the arms behind the head, and rounding down with your forehead on the mat. Just coming back to your breath. Breathing here. And then see if you can feel the breath in the back side of your body. And maybe you notice some internal chatter. And then just bringing your attention back to the body and the breath in the body. Slowly relaxing down. As you're slowly rolling back up, and then moving your hands forward, coming into downward facing dog, moving into pigeon pose. So don't worry, we're just bringing the right leg up here to lower, bring the right knee to the right wrists, and lower down into pigeon pose. So moving the left leg back as far as you can. If you notice you have a lot of space underneath the hip, please just bring your pillow underneath the hip, flexing the left foot a lot. If you know the pose, go for it, move down, and otherwise just staying here breathing. Making sure you don't have pain in the knee. If you do feel that, you can move to the back and do figure four. Slowly lowering down. If you have the space to your elbows or even further, just staying there for several breaths. Relaxing everything you don't need. Staying here for 5 more deep breaths. For 1. For 2. For 3. Really relaxing into seeing if you can release every tension that you don't need. And a last breath here. And slowly moving yourself up, releasing the cushion if it's underneath the sit bones, tucking the left foot under, and then move back to square the hips. So sit down on your heels for a moment as we go to the other side. So coming back into downward facing dog. And again, to just get into the habit, thinking and seeing how your fingers are. Are they spread wide, index finger pointing to the front of the mat? Am I pressing through my fingertips? So basically, every pose that we do, always having the hands in the same position. And now just bringing up the left leg, and then bringing the left knee to the left wrist, placing it softly down. Bringing the back leg further back, flexing the left foot. Inhaling to open up, maybe placing the cushion underneath your sit bones. And then exhaling, if you have the space, maybe moving the elbows down or even further down, just seeing whatever is good for you. Breathing here, relaxing the head down. And just scanning the body. Is there any part of my body that I can relax even more? Relaxing the eyes, the jaws, all the muscles in the face. Really releasing. Breathing in and out deeply. 3 more really deep breaths. For 1. For 2. And 3. And then slowly open your hands back up. Tucking the right foot under. Shoveling the knee a bit closer as you press yourself. Just come sit down on the heels for a moment to close off the hips. And then shifting your sit bones to the right side as you bring your legs forward. Now starting with the left leg forward and bringing the right foot into the left thigh. Inhaling to bring the arms up and twisting over towards the left leg. And on the exhale, you slowly shift forward until you can't go any further. And thinking again of bringing the belly towards the thighs and then just releasing yourself down. So no need to reach anything, to touch anything. Just relaxing down, breathing here. Really pressing through the heel of the left foot. And then maybe on an inhale you can straighten the back, and on the exhale you can think of bringing the belly closer towards the thighs or bringing the chest towards the toes, kind of the same motion, just breathing there. And then slowly rolling back, coming up straight, maybe moving the head from left to right. And then placing the right hand behind you, engaging the core. And on the inhale, you bring the left arm up and over the head as you lift up the hips into Stargazer pose. So really opening, coming into small back bend here. Breathing deeply. And then slowly coming back down to change sides. So bringing the right leg forward, left foot into right thigh. Inhale, arms up. And on the exhale, you twist and you slowly lower down in a really strong, straight line, straight spine, until you can't move any further, and maybe it's the lower back, sometimes the hamstrings, and then it doesn't really matter, you just fold forward until you feel that this is, for you today, your stretch. And also always remembering that if we want to overstretch, so if we really reach further than actually we can, our body goes into this kind of resistance mode, so we won't get more flexible. So you will get most flexible when you just really feel it, and it can be a little bit intense, but when you really grasp and clasp, you're actually doing the opposite. So just relaxing down, and then breathing into the area where you feel it most, relaxing everything else. Maybe again lengthening on an inhale, and on exhale, see if you can just, even though it's the tiniest bit, just move a little bit deeper. One more deep breath here. And slowly coming up, rolling the shoulders, maybe looking from left to right. As you place the left hand behind you and bring the hips up to come into Stargazer pose, really pushing the hips forward, opening up, coming into a small back bend. Breathing here through the belly. And softly lowering yourself down. And then coming to a seated position, facing the side of the mat. And then bringing the soles, you can already sit in your cushion if you know you're more stiff in the hips. Bringing the soles of the feet together. And then on an inhale, really opening the chest wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And exhaling, slowly shifting forward until you can't move any further, bringing your hands on the feet. And then maybe you can even use the elbows to press the thighs out a little bit. Just seeing for yourself, and then relaxing the head back down. Staying here for several breaths. Maybe saying yes or no with the head. And then see if you can use the thumbs to just massage your foot a little bit. And to see how this feels, like just massaging the feet that are working so hard for you every day. Maybe pressing and feeling if there are some points that feel more intense. And then bending over forward a little bit more. Relaxing the head down. As you slowly come up And then coming into comfortable seated position for a short closing meditation. So whenever you're ready, bringing your right hand on the belly and the left hand on the heart. Inhaling to bring the shoulders up, exhaling, releasing them back down. And then see if you can come back to the breath for one more moment. Really feeling the belly and rib cage rising. And then see, just observing with what kind of attitudes you're sitting here right now. And maybe there's something you can soften and release. And inviting some joy. Relaxing all the muscles in the face, the shoulders, and even maybe there's still some tension in the thighs. Relaxing every part of the body, just breathing. Sitting here in gratefulness for your body that's able to move in this way. Even though it might be challenged, being grateful for your healthy bodies. Breathing here, feeling the hands rise and fall on the belly and the rib cage. And then just taking a moment to be grateful for something that comes to mind first, breathing with that. Feeling the hands on the belly and on the chest. And then softly releasing the hands on the next inhale, bringing the arms up, reaching up and lengthening. And on the exhale, one more time, pressing them to the sides. Really pressing the heels of the hands away. Releasing them back down. Inhaling, bring the arms up, reach up. And exhaling into heart center as I say namaste.